Hey, Free Mind, you crazy for this. Soulful. It's like our responsibility to make us feel something. You know, to make people feel what we feeling. Hey, yo.
Regie here, and I want to welcome you to another one of my live streams. This is Comics Today, a show that we do on Wednesday, the best day of the week, that being New Comic Book Day. And in a moment, I am going to go to the chat to see what you all may have picked up earlier today at the LCS. So if you made it to the LCS, let me know what it is that you may have snagged. If you read something today that we should consider putting on the top of our stacks, I want to know that. And if you want to shout out your LCS, feel free to do that. But this show is a celebration of New Comic Book Day, which is why we like to talk about what people picked up and what people have read and LCSs, because this is a celebration of all things comics. And I will tell you that I am a firm believer that comics are here to stay. If you missed the video that I released, I think it was yesterday, there are a lot of people that are selling their collections out of fear for the fact that they believe the next generation won't be interested in comics. And if you are interested in what my thoughts are on that topic, I encourage you to check out the video that came out yesterday. If you have a contrarian point of view, feel free to share those thoughts, because I would say be prepared for me to push back, right? Because I don't think that there's anything wrong with people having different points of view. I think different points of view are healthy. And I think in you know, the way that it's supposed to be done is that people should have an ability to have an exchange of thoughts, even if they don't agree, but to do so in a civil and respectful manner. So just be prepared. If you don't agree, that's cool. But if you say some stuff, I'm going to counter, and we're going to have a little back and forth, because that's what this is all about. That is even a celebration of comics. So I want to welcome everybody. And as a reminder, this show will be rebroadcast as part of the podcast. And you may wonder which podcasting platform, all of them. Doesn't matter which one. If you have a preferred podcasting platform, if you search for Regie Collects, you will more than likely find me there, and along with 100 or so plus episodes. I haven't checked the stats lately, but we must be getting close to 30,000 downloads on the podcast, which is great. I had somebody reach out to me the other day that actually found the channel as a result of the podcast. And that, I don't know if that ever happened. I don't know that anybody finds the channel due to the podcast, but it happened. It happened recently. So shout out to all those people that access the podcast and take some Regie on the go. As part of this show, we typically have a guest or two to help me to make sense of something that is happening in the world of comics and collectibles. And I reached out to two guests. And both of them declined. And we are going to talk about that. To my man, what was that? Chuck. Was that Chuck? Somebody made a comment about the DC wall. The DC wall is going down. Let me give you guys a quick rundown of some of the stuff that's up there, because it has changed. On the top row, we have Batman 428. That is a new book. We also have Batman 408, which is, I think, those two books right there. On the other side over here, we have a couple of static books. Static 1, Polybag, Static 1, Collector's Edition. I think that's what that is. And then issue number 45. The very last issue done by Mobius. And I think that one is like a 9.2 or 9.4 or something like that. On the bottom row, on one side over there, we have Batman Red Death, issue number 1, little foil action. And on the other side, Suicide Squad, issue number 7, foil cover signed by Jim Lee. Both of those books on the bottoms were AOKs to me from members of the comic book community. So those are the changes to the wall. And yes, the DC wall continues to survive. I think I saw somebody in here picked up one of the Blue Ocean books that we mentioned, that we made mention of. Good stuff, man. If you picked it up, that is good stuff. Hopefully you did not pay a crazy amount of money for it, right? At the end of the day, the Blue Ocean strategy is all about picking up books before they become hot, before they become popular, before people start paying attention to them, which means that you should be able to get them for a lower price. And if something happens. If the stars align and the value goes up, great. If nothing happens, then potentially you've only spent a couple of bucks and you have an awesome book to add to your collection that hopefully you will also read. So my man Chuck, how you doing, brother? Chuck reached out to me. Chuck, his children the twins have a birthday coming up. I think it's on the 25th of June. Happy birthday to the twins, and as a result of them having their birthdays on that day, Chuck will not be at Heroes Con. I will be at Heroes Con. I'm doing a booth takeover. I will be there for some time on Saturday. We're not quite sure how long I'll be there, but I will be at Heroes Con. So if you are there in Charlotte, North Carolina, look for me. I will be somewhere around. Chuck says he picked up Scooby-Doo, Mark Jewelers, Star Trek, Mirror Wars. Reggie, get this. Okay, I'll make a note. Gwenverse, Iron Man, Ring cover, Marvel's Blood Syndicate, and Naomi. A couple of really cool books there. There you go. Scrolling through the comments here. What is that? I'm scrolling through the comments. What if Miles Morales #4, Sandman, Nightmare County or Country, issue #3. That's what's up. Scrolling through. There was somebody else that got Sandman 17. I paid $14 for it. That's not too bad. Those are not new books, Ken, but those are new books to you, and we celebrate that. ASM 79 and 87, shout out to you, brother. I think that you put those up on the Instagram, and I may have left a comment behind. Shout out to you, Ken. Scrolling through. Zorro, how you doing, brother? It is good to see you. What is that? He says he is editing the Hot 10 for my man Comic Tom right now, but he wanted to swing by to say hello, Zorro. It is good to see you, brother. Fantastic job that you do with the editing. You make me look good. Whenever I appear in that video, you tend to make me look good, and I am appreciative of that. The community is also appreciative of the work that you are doing over there, helping out Comic Tom put out that good content for people to be able to enjoy. Fight the good fight. Picked up Miles Morales 38, Batman 124, Alien 12, various Secret Invasion issues, Fantastic Four 44, and so much more. No Grimm this week. I read Grimm, and it was okay. I wasn't blown away by it. It was good. It's appeared on a couple of hot lists as of late. And what was crazy is I was traveling, was that a week and a half ago? I can't recall. I was traveling, hit up a comic shop, and they had like 8 copies of Grimm on the shelf. Did not buy a single copy. I had it in my hand, put it back, went to another shop, stared at it, did not pick it up, did not get a copy of Grimm, but I did read it, and it is pretty awesome. Anthony, how you doing, brother? It is good to see you. DJ Lynx is up in here. Speaking of editors, this dude is doing his thing. He's helping out Jim Mint, putting out that good content for the community to be able to enjoy. That's what's up. Good to see you, DJ Lynx. Scrolling through, it's hard to make, it's hard. Trev, you're very kind, brother. You're very kind, Trev. You guys might see me. I might have a little glisten. Speaking of looking good or looking bad, depending upon how you look at it, I may have a little glisten. It's because I was outside with the kids. It's hot out there. It's humid here in North Carolina. We got the kids a pool, above ground pool, because we can't do the in-ground pool just yet. Long story. But we got them an 18-foot pool. And while they were out of town, Dad put up the pool, and they have been swimming nonstop in this pool. But I'm also serving as lifeguard. And I'm wearing, not the 3-inch shorts. I'm not wearing the 3-inch inseam shorts. So I sweat. Let me see. Liger said he picked up Grimm, mini Grimm books. Ooh, that last part there. Don't do that. Editors are in the house. Thank you, Tina. Tina always makes you feel good. No matter what happens, Tina's like, it's okay. Shout out to you, Tina. It is always good to see you. Aaron says, it sucks in Chicago, brother. It is hot and humid everywhere. Steve White, no. No, you guys got to stop with the dad jokes. No. My hair. Your eyebrow hair, bro? You talking about your eyebrow? Looking better with that DC. Hey, Hey, you do what you gotta do, brother. You do what you gotta do. I'll show you guys. I picked up a couple of things. Technically, two of these things actually found, well, most of these things found their way to me today. But this is Venom issue number 8. This is one of the books that literally I opened up a hot second ago. It came in from my comic shop. This is Thor issue 26. I have a bunch of other new books that you guys will see in an upcoming video. They're sitting over there. They came in the last couple of weeks. Shout out to my folks over at Image Skybound. They hooked me up. Here's some little bit of firepower, a couple of cool firepower covers. That's reminiscent of Walking Dead right there. This Walking Dead negative space cover is dope. This is a dope cover. I dig that one. That is a very, very cool cover, very different. And on the back, he's shocked. He's shocked at how dope that cover is. There you go. Somebody told me I should not use the word dope. So, you know, it's a dope firepower right there. It's cool firepower. Here's another really cool cover. I think I just showed you that dope right there. That's dope. This issue number 40 of The Walking Dead. Shout out to Skybound. They keep me supplied with the dope stuff. Little bit of Walking Dead action. I'm not going to read this title. I'm not going to read this title, but I will put it up on here. I am intrigued by the name of this book, and I am going to read it. Read the book, but I'm not going to read the title. Yeah, there you go. That is some Skybound Walking Dead. I'm sorry, Skybound stuff. So we're gonna check this one out and see what's going on. That looks a little like some zombies. Oh yeah, we're gonna see. We'll see what happens with that one. But anyway, those are some of the new books that I managed to pick up. All of this stuff pretty much showed up here at the house today. So dope is fire, says Tina. I'm telling you, only dope uses dope. I'm just saying, she does indeed. She does indeed. Chris Bigger. Woo. Woo. No, thank you. No, thank you. Super Space Ape, greetings and salutations to you. What is that? Dang. Hey, it is dope. It is dope. That's all I'm going to. I don't want to be the one that introduces anyone's child to anything. But you know, if they can read it, hey, that's on them. Okay. If they know the words, that's on them, but I will not utter the words. Kids, especially with single syllable words, they will repeat that word, and it might be cute. It might be cute behind closed doors, but you go out in public and your kid says something outrageous and everybody looks at you, because the kid clearly doesn't know any better, and they know that it came from you. Nobody's going to believe Regie said it. You won't be able to explain that one. You won't be able to explain that Regie said it. Yeah. Come on, man. Don't ruin it. Don't ruin my out, okay? What is that? Kevin says, I put in overtime last week to add to my comic funds, going for ASM 252 and X-Men 266 this week. Woo, those are not poor man's keys, brother. Those are dope keys. Those are good keys, man. You gotta do what you gotta do, brother. And sometimes you have to put in OT in some form or fashion, right? In some form or fashion, there is some work to be done. I will tell you one of, and you take this how you take it. You take this how you take it. Occasionally, my daughter says something and my wife and I look at each other and we're like, I don't quite know what she's trying to say, but what it sounds like should not be coming out of her mouth. No doubt about that. At least 3 months ago, I did a video, and in this video was basically like, look, if you are interested in getting some really awesome keys and adding them to your collection, you just hold on. You keep your powder dry. I said it 3 months ago. And I'm setting this up that I'm like some kind of prophet, and I'm not. That's not where I'm going. But I said it a few months ago. I was like, hey, keep your powder dry. Some things are going to happen, right? I go into a series of videos talking about inflation and how inflation is going to have an impact on the value of comics. Sure enough, people have been reaching out. Reggie, have you seen this? Reggie, have you seen this? Reggie, what do you think about this? I think that I talked about this more than 3 months ago, right? Inflation is real. The Fed just raised the interest rate by 0.75, which is, I think, the highest that it's been, or the biggest increase or something like that since like 1994, the year that I graduated from college. If people cannot afford to put gas in their car, they cannot afford to put food on the table, they are not going to be buying comics, because comics are a luxury item. Comics are purchased with discretionary funds. And if people are struggling to pay the bills, then they're not going to have as much money to buy comics. If they're not having as much money to buy comics, then that means that there's going to be less competition for comic. That means that the values of comics are going to come down. And that means that now is starting to be the time in which, if you've been keeping your powder dry, you should be able to pick up some really awesome books. And so there you go. There was a comment here. What do you think of Star Wars market with future live action series of the High Republic? I'm gonna be honest with you, brother. I don't know a whole lot about Star Wars. It's not my jam. It's not my jam. I am watching Obi-Wan Kenobi and I am enjoying that. I'm like the Mandalorian. What I will say to you is that High Republic has been a pretty hot series almost from the moment that it dropped. People were on that book, and I do not track the values of that comic, so I don't know where it is in relation to where it's been. But generally speaking, comics tend to go up in value as long as they're Marvel comics, if they're associated with a movie or a TV show. More so movies than TV shows. But there could be a little bit of a blip with High Republic. And again, it depends upon what that book is doing right now. I don't know at the moment where it is. So I would say you're going to have to use your best judgment. What I will caution you against is overpaying. I will always caution people against overpaying for something. There was a period which High Republic was on the list of book videos that I put out where I talk about what people are sending in the CGC. High Republic was on the list for a very, very long time. So all right, so let me get myself back on track. Yeah, man, people, there's a lot of selling. There's a lot of selling. If you know, you bought a comic for the purpose of making money, there is a good chance that you want to unload that book. There is a good chance you want to think about it, but there is a good chance that you want to own that or unload that book, because I don't know that inflation is going to go away anytime soon. But again, if you don't need the money, if you're a collector and your goal is to acquire really awesome books, hold on to your books, right? Hold on to your books. Consider buying additional books that you've always wanted at lower prices. And I'm actually thinking about releasing a video in which I talk about some awesome books that folks may want to pay attention to, because there have been value drops in those books. And so I am a huge fan in the long term of comics and comic collectibles, not just from a value standpoint, but also just from an interest standpoint. I think people will continue to be interested in comics for a very long time. So, as I alluded to at the top of the show, I invited a couple of people to come on the show. One of them never responded to me, which is very, very unusual. It's unusual for somebody not to respond to me. And that's not coming from an egotistical place in any way, shape, or form. It's coming more from the standpoint of, we as a community, if people reach out, people respond. And this person did not respond to me, which kind of caught me off guard. And then I had another person that had agreed to come on the show, but then expressed some reservations with coming on the show. And then they explained to me in a little more detail. And then my comment to them was, it's probably best that you don't come on the show. And it's probably best that you don't come on the show, because you may be making yourself more of a target. And I think that the first person did not respond back to me because they probably in the back of their mind had the same thought. I attended a firearm safety course recently, and I had the instructor make some comments to the class. And the class was literally two people, me and one other guy, Hispanic guy. And he made some comments, and his comment was, he is frustrated with parts of his community that are firearm collectors and, hobbyists that have a closed community outlook to things. They push against anything that is new and different. And he's a white guy saying that to me and to his Hispanic guy. And his point was very clear. And his comment was, I don't have time for that. Everybody is welcome to learn about this, right? And so and that struck a chord with me because I have a similar outlook when it comes to this hobby of comics. I firmly believe that we need all people, like we need everybody. And it doesn't matter whether you're an investor, speculator, collector, you're a flipper, a dirty flipper, you are a man, you are a woman. I don't care. I don't care. If you're buying comics, you're supporting comics, you're supporting artists, you're supporting publishers, you're supporting YouTubers being able to create content. I'm on board. Bring it on. Do what you do. Everybody find a lane. Everybody find something that you're into and do your thing. These people declined essentially to be on the show because they have experienced a lot of negativity directed towards them because they are women. And I heard that there have been memes, there have been videos, there have been reels, there have been Instagram posts that have gone up. And in a very short amount of time, these two people experienced some negativity and then created content on a platform that caught my attention because they were in close proximity and they were very emotional about it to the point where it made me uncomfortable to even watch it. It was that emotional and it was that vulnerable. And it was because of what I saw that I invited them on, and they, did what they did. And I think rightly so decided not to come on because I think potentially it would make them more of a target. What I will say to you is that, I absolutely love comics. Absolutely love comics. I love the community. I love the people in it. I found the vast majority of people in this community to be awesome and welcoming people. But there is a subset. There's a subset of people out there that don't like things for whatever reason. And that's okay. It's okay. It's okay if you don't like my social media post about Amber Heard and about Johnny Depp. It's okay if you don't like somebody because of how they look or how they speak or how they say things or who they are. It's okay. Unsubscribe. Don't follow. Click off. Go find something else to do with your time versus, picking on people and being a keyboard bully. Threats of physical violence over comics. Give me a break. So I'm not going to belabor the point, but I will tell you that I have a very low tolerance for people that pick on other people, just generally, but certainly people that do things towards women. That bothers me to no end. You know what I'm saying? It's like it doesn't get, well, it gets a lot worse. It gets a lot worse. Let me not exaggerate, but it's pretty darn bad if you're a grown man and you're picking on people. Find something else to do. Find something constructive, right? So there you go. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm gonna keep it moving. So as I make a very hard turn from that topic, my man Wayne sent this to me. There is an auction. I do believe that this is on Heritage for the low price of $1.6 million. You might be able to not get the original art for Batman The Dark Knight Returns issue number 1. This lot number 7274, auction 7274, lot 91074 is available to you. It's 1 day left in this auction, and the current bid is $1.6 million. Yes, inflation is a real thing. Yes, inflation is hitting people, but there are some folks out there that have so much money that it doesn't even matter. And that is a gorgeous cover. I don't even know what that cover is going to go for. I feel like it's going to be over 2 million. Easily over 2 million. It is a dope cover. I don't know who's been sitting on this all this time. Man, good luck to you. A cover that's been homaged like nobody's business is out there for people. Chris is like, I'm gonna be just a little short. I'm gonna be just a little short on that 1.6. Aaron says that's chump change, brother. If that's chump change, break me off. Let me send you my Patreon, brother. Let me just slide you my. I'm gonna slide into your DMs with my Patreon. Yeah, man. Crazy. 1.6. It is redunculous. I feel bad for people like Elon Musk during this kind of Elon's out there buying companies. He ain't worried about any of this stuff. Hang on, I'll get my wallet. Well done. Well, Dave, that'll get me an unfollow there, Dave. Oh my goodness. Well done. You guys are hilarious. From the desk of a small press publisher. That's what's up. No, bro. Ken. No, bro. And here's what's crazy. They're probably gonna slap, what is it, about 20 to 30% on top of that as a fee plus taxes. Sweet Christmas. That is going to be redunculous. Oh my gosh. Are you serious? Oh my gosh. That's brutal. That's brutal. Scrolling through, jump change. There you go. Are you George at 20%? There you go, man. Buyer's premium plus taxes, plus shipping. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Neo. Brother, you not letting that sit in PayPal. Look, check it out. We could all probably pool our PayPal balances right now. We still will come up a little short. Scrolling through, Chuck, not too late to grab the lotto tickets. Well done, brother. Let's be honest. Could any of you out there that are married, could you imagine saying to your wife, I just dropped $2 million on this piece of paper? Could you imagine? Think about how much money you have to have in order to be able to say that to your wife. I hope one day to figure. Nah, bro, you paying for that shipping. You are paying for that shipping, no doubt. Oh, Kevin, yeah, man. Yeah, man. So for those folks that came in a little late, I'm trying not to preach, even though there are some people that do love a good sermon. I'm trying not to preach, but I had plans to spend some time talking about what I think is a very small number of people that are hating on other members of the community because of who they are, and in this instance, it is some people that are essentially picking on women that are taking the time to create videos and reels and memes and put up posts about them, and it's brutal, man. It's brutal, and I can tell you for a fact that I have been on the receiving end of some of this, and I haven't ever really spoken about it publicly. But Comic Tom Bueller and myself did a live stream once in which we pushed back against this. This was a couple of years ago. There were people that were creating videos, that were creating memes, that were creating profiles and commenting on our videos and sending us messages and stuff like that, essentially trying to troll us. And what was fascinating is that I was able to track one of the individuals that was doing it to me, that created a profile, turned out to be somebody that actually was a subscriber of the channel at one point, that had hidden their identity. But if you track certain things, that if you don't cover your bases right, people can figure out who you are. And it's sad. It's sad that people take the time to do that. But I don't like to see any of this stuff. And when I hear about, threats of violence and all that kind of stuff, it's like, man, come on. These are comics we're talking about. Let's keep it real. Let's keep it real here. My wife, what? To me, hey, man, if I get $2 million, you better believe I'm buying AF-15 in a high grade. You better believe that. It hurts just to imagine saying that to her. Yeah, man. Hey, wives do not take kindly to some of that stuff, man. They really, really don't. What I echo your point about being respectful for those in the community. There is no one size fits all. Yeah, man. There's not. At the end of the day, I don't care. Like I genuinely don't care what people collect. I don't care how they collect. As long as what they're doing is not detrimental to other people, I don't really care. You want to flip comics, you want to buy comics and sell them, you want to not read them, that's fine. You want to buy them just for the cover art, you want to buy raw books, you want to buy graded books, you like independence, you only like Marvel, you only like DC, you only want to buy this type of book. I don't care. Buy whatever floats your boat, because if you do that, then it makes it so that the publisher continues to produce the books that I like. I welcome everybody, because if everybody were the same, that would be super boring. Like, you need diversity of people, diversity of thought. And there are some things that people do and publications that come out that I don't like. And you know what? I don't buy them. There are people that put up posts that I don't like. You know what I do? I unfollow them. I don't watch their YouTube or whatever it is. That's how I maintain my harmony, but I certainly don't go pick on those people. I certainly don't create videos to tell them that I don't like them. Like, no, that's a waste of time. That's a waste of time. My wife would leave me. Kevin, how you doing, brother? It is good to see you. Click my vid. Yeah, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it in this video, right? I don't want to do it here. It's a wonderful question. I don't want to do it here because if I do it, then people will assume that those are the people that I'm actually talking about. So I won't do that. Wait a minute. Any female you come to YouTube, we should be watching. Yeah. So at some point I will try to put up a list. Seems to only guest on shows. Maybe it's just me. I don't follow that comment. I might need some more meat on that bone, brother. I might need some more meat on that bone. Rob, how you doing, brother? He says all the way from the UK. It is late over there, brother. It is late over there. There should never be any. I'll be honest with you, Rush, my Canadian brother. I'm a little jealous of all the books that you buy, brother. I'm gonna be honest with you, Rush. I'm a little jealous. But you know what I won't do? I will not try to pick on you or any of that other kind of stuff, right? Because you have some great books. You spend a lot of money on really awesome comics, and I think that it's wonderful, because if you're buying them, then again it makes it so that I can buy them, right? I look at what you're doing, maybe I learn a little something from you. Diversity of thought is wonderful. There you go. There's a woman right there. Go follow her right there. Go follow her. Shout out to all the women that might be in the room, whether you are a collector, a reader, investor, speculator, dealer, comic, content creator, whatever you might be. Shout out to you. We need everybody in here. I mean, we even allow school teachers up in here. We allow people out in the wild parts of California to come hang out. I mean, we include everybody. We welcome everybody in here. This is too vague to take positive action. It's not too vague. It's not too vague at all. It's not too vague at all. This is all about allowing people to be who they are with whatever that is. If it's not your jam, that's perfectly fine. Don't pick on people. That's not vague at all. It's straightforward. And the reason that it is less specific than I would want is because the guests that were going to come on the show are fearful that coming on the show could make them more of a target. So there is a reason for everything that I do. There is a reason for everything that I do. So scrolling through, well said, scrolling through, be a good human. I mean, just keep it super simple. Just keep it super simple, right? Now you got me sweating up in here. I'm up in here sweating. I need to step down. I need to calm down. All right. So speaking of just sad stuff, and we are only going to talk about this one ever so briefly, because this one is just tragic. And I want to talk about it only because I've been talking about it for weeks. For weeks, I've been talking about this, and it just gets worser. It gets worser. Yes, that is a proper term. DC star hides with kidnapped girl, mocks authorities searching for them. And this is a story that broke a few days ago. Ezra Miller, who has been in the news a lot for getting in trouble with the law, We actually covered every one of the incidents that I've been aware of, including the most recent, where he was basically arrested and detained for getting essentially in a bar fight. Talking about he likes to capture his altercations for NFTs. He is now being accused of doing some things with an underage minor. I guess she's now 18 years of age now, but ever since she was about 12 years of age, he has had some kind of influence on her. The parents are they filed, I guess, a restraining order, but they cannot serve him with the restraining order. They are looking for their daughter. They're looking for Ezra Miller. I mean, this is some tragic stuff. And I'm not going to scroll down in the article. I'm not going to read through the article. You guys can find this online. You know, I was with some of the legal stuff. I was like, you know what? Maybe DC will still release the movie. Maybe they'll release the movie. In my opinion, it is less likely that they should release this movie as a result of this. Just look at the headline. It starts off with DC star. Like, there's some things you can come back from, and there's some things that you can't come back from. And this is starting to evolve into one of those things that you cannot recover from. And they may be best served to cut their ties with this guy, because yeah, you pick with women, you do things to kids. It's just not a good situation. So enough of that one. A lot of negativity stuff, a lot of negative stuff going on right now. Is there going to be a point where DC doesn't show the film? I honestly, bro, I think that it's getting to the point. I think it's getting to the point. It is like it's sad. It really is sad. Yeah, man. It's some sad stuff. I'm scrolling through some of the comments here. I think honestly, it is probably time that they pivot from him. Man, I think they just trashed the whole movie. Like, the movie is based upon him. I think you got to trash the whole movie. And I think what was crazy is that this movie, I do believe, was supposed to be a pivot point for a lot of the other things that they wanted to do. That pivot point now was spoiled because your main actor he needs some assistance. He needs some assistance. And yeah, straight to DVD. Oh man. There you go. It is ungood. And again, here you go. This is what's in the headline. Ezra Miller and Amber Heard. This is what's in the headline. Like, and then Lady Gaga and Joker as a musical. It's not looking good. It's not looking good. It is not looking good for DC. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. You guys are hilarious. Anyone see that movie? We need to talk about Ezra. He played that creepy kid too well. Well done, Rob. I didn't see that movie, but hey, I think he's playing himself. He appears to be playing. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm normally not this. And I mean, even I'm smiling and having a good time, but there's some dark stuff, man, that's happening. And I would be doing myself, I would be doing the community a little bit of a disservice if I did not talk about these things. And I think you know that, right? Like there's a reason. There's a reason why I do all of this stuff. So there's a reason for it. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Ezra's method acting. What is that? Fight the good fight. A big shout out. Thanks for the video about having a grab and go collection. Oh my goodness, had two fires, had a fire 2 miles away a couple of days ago, not impacted, but a great reminder. That's bananas, bro. I'm glad that everything is okay. Hopefully the people that are in your area are okay as well. But what he's referring to, fight the good fight, is referring to is that I have an old sugar box, and the sugar is not exactly sugar, right? But it's when the stuff hits the fan, when stuff gets bad, and you have to go, and you have to go. What I've thought through is if my family is safe and my family is okay, if I have time to grab one bin of comics, what bin am I going to grab? And again, family safe, right? You can't save everything. But if there's one you're going to grab, what are you going to grab? That is the O Sugar Box. And my O Sugar Box has now expanded it to 2. So if I can carry 2, I have 2 O Sugar Boxes sitting right there. And the first one is a straight shot. You come in and you shoot down. And the next one is right next to it. If stuff goes bad, that is where we're going. And I actually came up with this. I came up with this when we were living in California, and we had all of those crazy fires. We had all those crazy fires and the black and the rolling brownouts and all this other kind of stuff. And I'm like, man, I need to be ready. And we packed a to go bag for like family stuff with like documents and wills and, you know, trusts and birth certificates and all that kind of stuff. And we set that by the door. And I was like, maybe I should prepare an O Sugar Box for the comic collection if I have the time to grab it. So there you go. Scrolling through some of the comments here. Some people had to evacuate. They were able to put it out before it did much damage. There you go. What part of the country are you in, brother? Because I know California was hit big time. I have not stayed up with what was happening in California as of late, but hopefully not in Cali. They don't need any more fires ever. I'm about 10. No, bro. No, you can't have 10. You can't. A sugar box, maybe 2, not 10. Oh my goodness. Scroll is a sugar palette. You guys are hilarious. You guys always, you are in California. Yeah. That's California needs no more fires, man. I'll tell you that was one of the scarier things that we encountered was, and I've encountered it a couple of times. One when I was living in LA, and then of course when I was in San Francisco. And there is nothing like seeing an uncontrolled fire burning near your house and in the air being thick with ash falling down from the sky like it is snowing. That's bananas. It really is bananas. So thanks to your Sugar Box video, my Ultimate Fallout 4 9.8 is ready. There you go. That's what's up. You have to have a plan. You have to have a plan. Somebody asking about CGI. Can they CGI Ezra with the TV flashes? Hey, you never know. You never know. My wife asked the other day if California had any trees. Yeah, a lot of small, half dead, half dry trees, and a lot of long grass. That's the channel. That's the challenge right there. So I think somebody's running. One of the blue wrenches is running some interference, making sure that people are minding their P's and Q's. So I want to hip you guys to one other thing here. Well, I think maybe a couple of more things. So I have been reading The Punisher. I've been reading The Punisher, and there was a lot of people that were not too excited about what was happening with The Punisher. I jumped on board and started reading it, and I'm now up to issue number 3, and I'll tell you, it's fantastic. I'll be completely honest. It is a fantastic read. I encourage you guys to check it out. But this article on comicbook.com talks about how Marvel is making major changes to the Punisher's origin to set up his new villain. And I'm not going to go into a whole lot of detail in this because I do not want to ruin it for people. But what I will tell you is that Jason Aaron is doing a fantastic job on Punisher. He is making Punisher interesting. And I think a lot of people will say there's no good comics that are coming out right now, and I disagree. There are some good comics that are coming out there, and I think that these writers that are able to take characters that were maybe one-dimensional and flesh them out in new and interesting ways, that is the secret sauce. And I am specifically thinking about like Incredible Hulk, for instance, right? The latest or the previous iteration of the Hulk run, fantastic, by Al Ewing. Fantastic. He created a whole new dimension to Incredible Hulk that has been around forever. Eddie Brock, what Donny Cates did with Eddie Brock, fantastic. Fleshed Eddie Brock out in a way that made Eddie interesting. I've never found Venom or Eddie Brock interesting. Never. Donny Cates did it. I found it interesting. I found it compelling. He introduced No, which I thought was pretty cool as well. We're getting some of that same treatment with Punisher. And they're changing some things in his origin, in his history, and it is really well done. And there's a lot of people that will poo-poo them changing some of that stuff, especially some of the things that are quintessential to who he is. But they're doing it, I think, in a respectful way. They're not completely retconning and changing everything, but they are making some modifications. And again, I don't want to go into detail because I encourage you guys to read it, but it's really well done. And so they're making some changes. I don't know who this new villain is, to be honest with you. Bring on, but I will tell you, issue number 1 of Punisher is a crazy cliffhanger. Issue number 2 was a good read. Issue number 3 is pretty darn solid. That's where they really hit the changed origin of Punisher. In issue number 3, I read it and I can picture it in my mind. Let me see if I can scroll down and show you guys the image, the cover of this thing. Is the cover here? No, it is not in there. They just have images from the book itself. That's not good. All good. Anyway, I wanted to hip you guys to that because it's definitely a good read. And again, for those, as a quick reminder that came in late, we've spoken about several different topics. I definitely want to encourage you to go back and watch this if you missed the community hatred aspect of this conversation. My 2 guests were unable to make it to the show, but I did at least want to address it a little bit for folks. But the other reminder that I will give you is that this show will be rebroadcast on the podcast, and so you can actually take some Regie on the go. It will go up on Monday at 10 a.m. Shout out to my brother Rizal. Thor, same thing. Thor, solid. Dan P says, I give Donny Cates credit. I never cared about Venom or Thor before 2020. I could not agree more with you, sir. I had never really read a Thor book. Not really. I mean, I read it, but like I didn't really enjoy it. He made Thor interesting. And so again, you've got Hulk, you've got Venom, you've got Thor, those, and now Punisher. Those are 3 older characters that have been reinvigorated as a result of really good writing. Shout out to all the writers. Doug, I'm looking at you. Shout out to all the good writers that do some good stuff. It is. And we thought that when he gave up his guns, that it was going to be some nonsense. He technically didn't put his guns down, but he did pick up a couple of swords, and he's just as violent. He is just as violent. No doubt. I'm not disagreeing. I'm not saying that he didn't. What I'm saying is you need to be able to make changes to characters to keep them interesting, to keep them viable, to draw in new readers. And what I'm suggesting is that we cannot rest on our laurels and say, well, we did really good stuff back in the day. No, you keep innovating, you keep tweaking while not throwing out all of the old history, but you tweak it, you modify, you make it interesting. You get more people on board that will appreciate what's being done now. And then potentially those people will also appreciate the older stuff as well. Like, think about the people that may be picking up Punisher now that are like, this character's dope. Netflix series comes out whenever that, not Netflix, Disney Plus, he comes on Disney or something like that. MCU people like, this character's dope. Maybe they go back and get some of the old series. Maybe they go back and get Punisher War Journal or ASM 129 or something like that. This good stuff, man. This is good stuff. Matt Woods, you've been on this one for a while, brother. You've been on this one for a while. I wish you luck. So I think you may have to fight it out with Chris Bigger, who wants Donnie to come over and do some DC stuff. You guys may have to fight it out in the streets. Maybe at GarageCon. Maybe you guys should come to GarageCon and fight for Donny Cates. Maybe that's what we should do. One last thing that I want to hip you guys to. I saw this one and I thought that it was interesting because it kind of dovetails on something that I released a video on several months ago. I was reading Miracleman. I went back and read Miracleman, and it seems that Marvel is setting the stage for Miracleman to join the Marvel Universe, they're coming out with all these variant covers, the same way that they did for Aliens. They did it for Predator. They're going to be releasing all of these variant covers for Miracleman here. And I guess he's not going to be in the book, but they're basically trying to increase interest in this character. So that was a ASM cover. There's a Shang-Chi cover right there. Little Venom action. Speaking of Venom, there you go right there. Ghost Rider cover. I don't like that one. Doctor Strange cover. Why are his eyes closed? That's not okay. Whatever. Incredible Hulk right there. X-Men. You can't go wrong with the little X-Men cover. Who did that one? That one looks like an artist that I know. Scrolling through a little Fantastic Four action. Carnage. Is that Captain? No, that's Starbrand or Captain Marvel. I don't know who that is. Captain America. You can't go wrong. There she is, Carol Danvers, little Spider-Man action, little X-Men action. So a couple of really cool covers there. But what occurred to me is I wonder if they might bring Miracleman into the MCU. They're coming out, I do believe, with a Marvel's movie or show. And Miracleman used to be called Captain Marvel. I don't know. It may be far-fetched. I don't know. But all of a sudden, they are now coming back with Miracleman. They've owned this IP since 2009. And just now, they've introduced him, trying to pull him into the MCU, doing all these covers. They pushed the Marvels back because they needed to do some additional filming. Maybe we will get some Miracleman in the MCU. Who knows? Who knows? Pure speculation on my part. All right, there we go. Let me scroll through. Marvel Man. Did I say Captain Marvel? No, that was my bad. I faux pas on my part. I messed up on that one. Scrolling through. Okay, I think I'm all caught up on the comments here. For those folks, GarageCon 2020 is going down. It is going down. They did. That's right. But I do believe that they can still publish Conan stuff, because I want to say, isn't it in like the public domain right now? So they could do it, but they may not be able to call it Conan. They may have to do something different and weird with it. That's how like a Blaze Studios is actually publishing Conan, but they don't call it Conan. They call it something else. And Matt Woods probably knows better than most with Chimerian or something like that. Scrolling through. Oh, I will tell you guys, I am going to be at a con. I am going to Heroes Con. I'll be at Heroes Con on June 25th, which is a Saturday. I'll be there at a booth. I think it's booth 906 or something like that. It'll be on Instagram. And it'll be on the Discord server. All the details will be there. If you guys are going to Heroes Con, I encourage you to look for me. I'll be roaming around somewhere, standing at a booth, hanging out. With Comic Clear. My friends over at Comic Clear have invited me to do a booth takeover, so it will be going down. So I'll be look for me. I am not going there. There you go right there. Spell his name different with a K. There you go. Robert says he's going to Heroes Con on Sunday. I will be there on Saturday, sir. I will be there. Yes, man. I am going to venture out. I'm going to venture out from the compounds. I am going to a con. Yes. I am bypassing the line because I'll be at the booth, which is great, but I will be there. So, if you guys see me, I am doing well. I'm going to ask you guys. I'm going to ask everybody. Check it out. That is the spelling. Just one G. Just one G. It's okay. You get one mistake. You get one time with the autocorrect and the two G's. After that, you go in timeout. Joking. All right, folks. I want to thank you guys for hanging out with me just a little bit. I definitely enjoy chatting with you all, even though we discussed some dark topics. Definitely enjoy my time with you guys. As a reminder, there will be a couple of copies of the Isolation Ash Can, which is limited to 100 copies. There will be a limited number of 5 that are going to be randomly inserted in this month's Swoldier supply box. That is basically a box of over 2 pounds of comic supplies and comics that are going to go in this box. And there will be a couple of copies of Renfield from Steve Conge. And there will be a couple of copies of the ash can that will be inserted in there. The first 7 pages of Isolation are in the ash can. You will have an opportunity to read it. There are some things that I ask you to do, like don't tell people what the story is about. Don't show the pages on social media. But you have an opportunity to get your hands on a copy of this. The Swoldier supply box is available on RegieCollects.com, either as a subscription or as an individual box. I am going to probably start shipping things towards the end of this week, so there's still time to get in on that action. All right. With that said, I want to thank you guys for hanging out with me just a little bit. I enjoyed you. I hope that you all enjoy the rest of the week. And as always, if you need to reach out to me for whatever reason, feel free to do so on Instagram at Regie Collects. Take care.